Boom. Let's get on with it. So, hello, everyone. I thought I'd try something different. It's a bank holiday Monday here in the UK today. And I tried a live maybe 2 days ago. And it didn't go so well because I put vertical orientation rather than horizontal, which is what we're doing now. So I thought, instead of making a video, which can take a while, I thought, let's do a live instead. Let's have a bit of a get-together on a Monday, and I want to have a look at your comments, actually, because the channel's been going on now for probably, it's coming up to 12 months in July, I think, and there's been some really good comments. I thought, let's get the comments out there and have a bit of a chat and discuss, because I cover a range of topics, everything from, well, the primary purpose of this channel, really, when I made it, was more to document my cold plunges, and it was more to kind of document for my son ways of living, I guess, how to try and live your best life. I think a lot of us just kind of bumble through. I think there's too many social constructs, if you will. And I thought, I'm trying to break out of it myself. I wouldn't say I'm there by any stretch, but I'm definitely trying to break out of it. And stoicism has definitely helped. Cold plunging has definitely helped. Fitness has definitely helped. Reading has definitely helped. All this type of stuff. I thought, let's try and put something together. So I'm going to read some of my comments. Now, I put some videos out recently. It's a range of stuff. And to be fair, this channel isn't really about putting out things that I think other people might like. It's basically me putting out stuff that might interest a very few people. It's something that I've come across, if you will, in life. So the most recent one was about why I don't really drink coffee anymore. I have a mushroom replacement. And that's a very, very niche video. Not many views. My videos don't get lots of views, to be fair, let's be frank. And maybe the channel will grow. And again, doing lives and stuff like this might help. You just never know. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with the oldest videos. So I did a video back in, wowzers, October last year. So to be fair, it is doing pretty well. It's going up to like maybe, how many views has it got? It's going to 3,000 views. It's got 19 comments, 141 likes. It's got quite a high percentage and all that type of stuff as well. And it's got good stats behind the scenes. Yeah, it's one of my evergreen videos, I guess. It's one of my earlier videos. So if you look at the content, it's not the content, the actual process of making it is not the best. But like anything, and this video and this channel is all about, it's all about what you can do with it and trying to make things better. 1% a day. That's the mission. So I'm going to start off with some of the comments. The most recent one was really good. So let's just jump straight into this. So the first one is by Sean De Silva, 8186. And he says, your testosterone can change in that massive range on a daily basis. There are so many factors, some of them being as little as food and sleep. I'm glad that you didn't jump onto TRT. Your range is completely normal, even on your initial test. I think this clinic just wants you to jump on test, so you pay, in my opinion, quite expensive subscription. Understand there are so many detrimental effects from being on testosterone, but the biggest one of losing your fertility and never being able to get it back in some cases. Also things such as high blood pressure, if I can speak, and checking up on your bloods constantly. I think that's like after. But yeah, just going on to this. So just in regards to TRT in general, it's something I looked at because I think I mentioned in my videos previously, I have been very, very active in my life, and I've always been athletic. If I'd start over, I would have gone into a more athletic life. I didn't have any guidance or steer, I guess, early on. And I was very, very lucky genetically because, yeah, weight training, all that type of stuff. I think it's what you describe as a mesomorph. So not skinny, but I'm not massive at the same time. But I can put on muscle, but I've also got decent cardio. Hence why I ended up doing Thai boxing. So yeah, I wanted to check where I was because, like I said, I'm 38, approaching 40 now, and I thought I wanted to just check where I was. And I'm glad I did it. I can't remember the cost, to be honest with you. I think the initial setup is like, is it like 30 quid? And then you get, there's a fee on top of that for your full bloods. I think that was about 70 quid. Now, I can't remember if I said in the video, but I'll share it. I don't mind sharing it. For my initial bloods, I was a little bit nervous, to say the least. I don't really like getting blood tests and all that type of stuff. And I thought, yeah, I'll get it done. It was a Thursday. I definitely remember it being a Thursday because I had a meeting at like 9 o'clock. So I thought, yeah, 8 o'clock. It's half an hour drive from where I live. Everything will be fine. And then I'll come back and go straight to work. What happened was, so I know that I don't like blood. So what actually happened was, I did really well. So the needle went in. I was looking away. I didn't want to pay any attention to it. But what did the guy do once he got the blood? To be fair, I didn't say anything, so he wouldn't have known. But then he got this massive, it was honestly about that big, claret blood sample, put it straight down on the table in front of him. I'm just like that, staring at it, mesmerized by the color of it. It was so like rich. I was like, ooh, what's going on there? It's very rich and blah, blah, blah. It looks it. And then I've fainted before. If no one's fainted before, it's basically like a silver, it's going to sound like talking now. It sounds like a grey cloud kind of coming over the top of your eyes. It's very gentle, very nice. If you did know what was going on. But if you catch it, it kind of it retreats, if you will. And I just thought, oh, I feel like I'm going to faint. So I said to the guy, I think I'm going to faint. Yeah, it's like, all right, okay, do you want to come and sit in this chair? I don't know if I mentioned this, but like I said, I had pretty bad anxiety going into it, and I had a coffee, and I was dehydrated. So I'm going to put it all down to that. Not just me being a bit of a wuss or whatever you want to call it. And then next thing I know, I'm lying in this dentist chair, and I've got a grown man tapping me on my arm. I said. And he's saying, is everything all right? And I think I was snoring. So I think I was out. I said, what? I kind of come around and go, what's going on? And he goes, you've just fainted. I go, how long for? And this is me thinking, so when I fainted in the past, I basically run like a to-do list in my head. Might as well make it productive. And he goes, yeah, you fainted. I said, how long was it out for? He goes, 3 seconds. I'm like, brilliant. So 3 seconds. And it was a really nice, deep sleep. But then after you fainted, you think, oh, I fainted. That's it. I can never ever faint again the rest of my life. But then you get up and you're naturally like wobbling. And it's like, you need to just sit down. Let me get you a sugary drink. And I know the drill from when I was a personal trainer, like elevate your legs, all that type of stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, if I've got to do this every single month, it's just going to be chaos. I'm going to have like, every month I'm going to have a massive anxiety. So that was actually one of the main, so looping back around to the initial point, that's one of the reasons I didn't go on TRT. I don't feel like I need it massively. I accept that what I'm feeling is natural aging. So it is what it is. And you just have to get on with it. Don't get me wrong, I might look at it in future. If I get to 50, I'm not having kids and that type of stuff. I get what we're saying here about fertility. I did know all this. I don't like I know it all, but what I'm saying is I've had the consultation, and these are the types of questions that I asked. I asked quite a lot of questions in there because I've got quite an analytical mindset. So yeah, it was just I agree, to be fair. I think the subscription is interesting. I remember when he was talking about needles and injecting it into your belly. I'm like, oh my God, like lifestyle wise, I don't want to have to think about sticking needles into my belly and all that type of stuff. It doesn't appeal to me. So yeah, I am going to test it again. One thing I am probably going to do in another video, but again, I'm always interested to hear your guys' thoughts and feedback, if you will, is do you want me to do another video on it? Do you want me to do another? Should I get another test? Because I reckon it's just out of the box. I reckon it's all the same stuff out of the box, and they just slap a different label on it, like most things, like most foods and that type of stuff. Anyway. So that was one of the most recent ones. I need to reply to it. So Sean De Silva, 8186, this is your reply, and I will reply on it. But yeah, it's a really good comment. I appreciate your input. It's a quality input. That's what this channel is all about. It's about community and working on quality, not just random comments. So yeah, very well thought out. So I appreciate that. Good quality comment there. Got some other people just saying the results, which is fair enough. Just a random one. Do you send it back through the post box to office of the post box, just in the post box? So it's probably about that big, about that wide. Slide through the letterbox. It was a good question, to be fair, something that I missed. Can you go straight to TRT? No, I wouldn't recommend it. I think you need to get your bloods done, see where you're up to, and then make the decision. Is it life-changing? Yes. Is it something that you can reverse if you don't want to? Yes, but is it worth it? I think that's the question to ask there. I need TRT for free. My testosterone is lower than yours. I'm 36.2. My DHT was also very low. It does worry me a little bit with the side effects, heart and blood pressure. Like I said, yeah, completely agree. Got to weigh everything up. Do you accept it? Or do you want to kind of, I think a lot of people look at Joe Rogan, in all honesty, and he's a very big advocate of TRT. I think he's got a little bit more money than I have, to be fair. So he's probably he's got a better lifestyle, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. How long you had to wait? I think it was only about 3 to 5 working days. That's one thing I was impressed by. By the time you sent off your results to receiving them, it was a quick turnaround. That was cool. Comments like this are always nice, hence why I do these types of videos, and they seem to be ones that work. I've used this video twice now. It's so helpful. Like, yeah, appreciate it. Apologies, it's not up to the standard that I like, to be honest with you, hence why I've invested in the mic. You can see all the lights behind me. Just on a side note, no, I'll tell you what, I'll come back to it. I'll circle back around to that. Someone asked me about the kit that I'm using and how much does it cost. So yeah, I'll talk about that in a bit. People just talking about I hate the word just. It kind of downplays anything. But yeah, people talking about the results. I appreciate that. Thanks for giving a clear breakdown of what the process is. That's my business analytical mindset. It is a gift and a curse, in all honesty, having that mindset, which is my blocks behind me. So if you ever see any of my videos or you look at my blocks, that is from, what are they from? Luminous Dark Sparks is the one I've just done, and that was through work. This was with, what is it called? Let's have a look, shall we? What is it? Insights. And the second I started to turn it over, I was like, I know what it is. It's Insights. Basically, those blocks determine this. It basically breaks your personality down into like different color schemes, which mean different things. So blue's very analytical, measured, stoic, if you will. Red's very to the point, passionate, I guess, kind of driven, blunt. That type of competitive is a big thing. So yeah, and then green is your people, caring about people, and then your yellow is your extrovert. Now, good for me, and this is what I mentioned in one of my videos, actually, just another rabbit hole, is I did a video about life lessons, and I think it was 20 life lessons in 30 minutes. It's probably one of the most important videos I'll ever make. And it is purely for my son, that, because I never got that when I was his age. Well, he's only 4, but you know what I mean, when he grows up. And one of them in there is basically saying, learn about yourself first. Learn about your personality. And it's so, I'm hoping people now realize that. I hope that's the norm. But I think you go to school and stuff and people are just, they expect to go to parties or you expect to fit with the crowd and this type of stuff. It's like, no, what if you're an introvert and you just kind of want to, if you want to just be in nature and that's your charging. If you're an introvert, you naturally need your own space to charge, whereas extroverts thrive on the energy of others. So those blocks kind of reconfirmed my personality type, which again is what makes you feel comfortable with yourself. And it's such a key thing to do when you're young. Understand yourself. And then you can help others. But you then know what you can do in your skill set. So knowing my skill set now, I know what I can do. And it justifies it. And it justifies your thought process and the way you think. So yeah, that's a side tangent. Another tangent as we go down. So that was the manual TRT review video. So it's probably one of the better performing videos. And it's organic. There's a lot of like organic bits and pieces in there. So one thing I'll jump in now in regards to what I was going to mention before. I had someone ask about my background, my setup, basically. And I think if you watch that video, the TRT one, the mic was awful, the video was awful, editing's not great, all that type of stuff. And I just thought I'm just nudging this down a tiny bit. Not trying to be a perfectionist or anything like that. But yeah, I remember thinking these videos are just not good. Not for what I want them to be. And not where I would like them to be eventually. You've got to think blue sky, aren't you? Pardon the pun with the lights behind me and all that type of stuff. But you want to think, yeah, eventually you can grow the channel so you can get a little team and that type of stuff, and they can do all the editing and make it look really professional, and we can have some really good conversations with other people. So yeah, I think you just have to start though. You have to start. You're never ever going to be good at anything. I've learned to play piano. I wouldn't say I'm great by any stretch, but it's something I learned in COVID. I'm very decent, I guess, at investments. I feel like I've got that good nailed down. And the results speak for themselves. You know what I mean? I think a lot of this type of stuff, you don't know until you try. When you try, you justify it. When you justify it, you get confidence. When you get more confidence, you kind of be more bold and not risk averse, but you realize this is what you can do. So the channel, which is what this channel is about again, so bringing it back round to the channel, I've invested in the mic. I think this is 150 quid. I'm using my phone now. I used to have, is it a Nikon? Yeah, I don't think it's a Canon actually. Let's have a look. Yeah, it is a Nikon actually. I don't even know what camera I've got. Where is it? What is it? Behind the scenes kind of stuff, I guess. Get closer to the mic. So this is, and I've had this for years, so it's not modern by any stretch, a D5600. Just butchered that. Probably definitely not the way to say it. And I used to record off that, but then you'd only get about 10 minutes worth of actual decent recording time. And it was painful. So I just record off this now. It's just a Samsung 22S or something like that. I can't remember. And yeah, it does the job. So with the mic just plugs straight into the phone. The lights, these two lights are the green and yellow, probably cost 15 quid off Amazon, and you can change them using a remote, which is here. I've got a little light here, which you can't see. It's this. And that is because, again, just for video lighting, is something that I've done my research, I guess, but that's without any light. If I just have that on, and I'm actually reflecting it off the wall to actually take up, so if this is it actually lighting me up. But if I turn it towards the wall, it just dampens it a little bit. So that just gives you a little bit of highlights on this side. And then the blue light at the back, it cost me 30 quid. And it's probably one of the best pieces of kit I've ever seen, in the sense of it goes to the entire spectrum of colors. So you can actually give it a color code. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, apologies. But that is like a purpley type of color. I might change it, but I think I'm just happy with what it is. I don't want to break it, in all honesty. So I just lights up the background just for a little bit of contrast. So yeah, I will be doing a video in a couple of months about my first year in YouTube, how have I found it, lessons learned, that type of stuff. I do actually say to everyone, I think everyone should have a YouTube channel. I don't see why you can't have one in this day and age. Everyone's got a story to tell. Everyone's got valuable experience to share with others. You could be sitting on a gold mine in regards to the way you think and that type of stuff. I do want to branch out eventually. I love history. I love nature. So I want to do, this is one of many channels is basically what I'm going to be saying, but you have to learn somewhere. And I like the idea of just documenting my thoughts for free. People can pick it up and make their lives a little bit better. If it's 1% and it helps one person, mission achieved. That's all I'm looking for. You got to leave the world a better place than what you left it, haven't you? So we've gone down a few tangents. So again, just there's no one watching anyway. It's all good. It's all good. So I've just talked about the TRT video comments. I've just done a bit of a background on how much everything has cost in regards to investments into the channel. So let's crack on with the rest of the comments because, this is a nice segue. So I did a video about unboxing this. And there's quite a few. It's a saturated market at the end of the day. But one thing that I didn't see people doing was actually reviewing the app. So I put in the thumbnail a little bonus. And to be fair, it's almost got 2,000 views. It's done all right. It's got 19 likes and a couple of comments. But again, people have contributed to it to make my videos better, which is great because it becomes a working relationship then. Let me have a look at these comments. Your camera has huge differences in colors and your auto white balancing and shifting. Try to color match footage for them both cameras and use a gray card to set your AWB. That's your auto white balance. Shifting distracts the user. So a really simple comment. How much knowledge has come out of that person to leave that comment though? So yeah, I appreciate it. And to be fair, that's why now I use this camera because it does it all for you. I don't have to worry about it. And to be fair, I think the color schemes are better in these modern day mobile phones now. I think are way better than the old cameras, especially when that one's not really designed for it. So yeah, it made me think. So that comment made me think about my camera setup. Hence why I've simplified it. You can't over-engineer these things as well. And that's one thing I'm a big fan of. Hence why I'm an analyst by nature and by trade, I guess. I try to keep things as simple as possible, as few as components as possible. It's less complicated, less things are likely to break, less scenarios are likely to happen. Few inputs, few outputs. Keep it simple. And so this is literally a mobile phone plugged into a mic with a few lights behind the scenes. I'm in my office. I haven't got a light here. This is just sunlight, but I have got a nice blind, which obviously wasn't designed for YouTube, this room at all, but it's kind of, it takes a bit of the heat off the sun, if you will. What else have we got? What's this one? This is Life Lessons one. This is the range of comments you get on YouTube. So I did my life lessons. 20 years of life lessons in 30 minutes. And someone just put, true. Sure. New comments. I did a video recently where I said, why bother? That one's just, it died a death. That one, if you like to even say that on YouTube these days, censorship and all that. She says, why bother? And it's all about why bother with self-development, but self-improvement. And I'm actually going to do another video, which is in my backlog, which is around the negatives of self-improvement and self-development. And I've only realized it since I've been on holiday, where I didn't have a cold plunge and I had to kind of relax. I had to kind of just do nothing. It's interesting how your rituals and your routines can sometimes shackle you. So it's a balance, which I believe, I'll come to it. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll come on to it now. It's a good comment. Where are you? Comment. This is for one of the shorts. So if you're new to this channel, I post daily cold plunge, which was the whole backbone of this. I thought if I can record myself doing cold plunges, it might inspire people to do it. And to be fair, I know it has, because I've had people reach out to me to say it has. And then it's only recently, again, this is where the learning journey comes in. I thought, I'm making videos. Why am I using other people's audio to use on my shorts? My voices are the best, but it's you can listen to it, hopefully. And I just thought, I'm going to use my own videos on my own shorts. Light bulb moment. So this comment, and it sounds, the usernames for YouTube, you just don't know what is a bot. I think this is a bot. I apologize if you're not, but it's because your username is a name followed by a hyphen and the 5 characters, which is normally the telltale sign of a bot. So, do you feel your ironclad morning routine has had an impact on your life? If so, what have you managed to achieve as a direct consequence of starting something like this? Cheers. So if it is a bot, it's an English bot because it's a good old cheers. Let's break this down. Ironclad morning routine, it is not. Hence what I've just mentioned. You can have morning routines. I see them slightly differently. I have a list of bullet points, goals I want to achieve in that day. And it is simply workout, cold plunge, play with my son, have some quality time with my son, play piano, Wim Hof breathing, read, sleep well. Those are the goals for the day. That's obviously personal. You've obviously got your professional life in there as well. So when we say ironclad, the cold plunge and the routine are the non-negotiables. The reading, yes, that is the next on the list. The piano and the Wim Hof breathing are nice to haves. So I could do them. I'll have a think about it. I don't sweat if I don't do them. I haven't done Wim Hof breathing. I used to do Wim Hof breathing every day. And to be fair, I actually found it made a big difference on my VO2 max in regards to my cardio. Let me just shift this up a tiny bit. Can you focus on this? Oh, you can. Who would have thought? I did Wim Hof breathing every day. I actually noticed it did have a massive impact in the sense of my VO2 max got better. My cardio got better. I enjoyed it. I think the max I've ever held my breath is for 4 minutes on my phone. It's all documented on my phone is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, ironclad, it is not. I don't think you should. I think everything should be negotiable to some extent in life. I'll give you an example. When I was on holiday, I worked out every day apart from one because the hotel I stayed at actually had a pretty decent gym. So I worked out every single day. And I felt good. I was eating well. I was having 3-4 meals a day. It was all inclusive, plenty of beers on top of that and that type of stuff. Like enjoying it. I'm not going to work out. I want to and be strict. I want to live the best of both lives, if you will. But then I got back and I was absolutely flagged. I thought, the sun's beating me down. You're still getting up early because you've got kids. Sunburn, quality of sleep. I was getting mosquito bites. So I thought, you know what? This week just gone. So what are we on now? Monday. So yeah, Monday to Saturday just gone. I didn't do any workouts. That's a conscious decision not to do that. So again, flexibility with the framework is what I like to say. I think you can have some non-negotiables, but sometimes you just go, you know what? I'm not going to do it. 1% a day. If so, what have you managed to achieve as a direct consequence of starting something like this? Simple. This channel is one of them. It's the long and short of it. I think, let's break it down even further. A cold plunge shows you who you really are. And what I mean by that is you are voluntarily getting into water that you know your body's just going to freak out about. You have got to control that emotion. You've got to know, and this comes with experience. So when you first start it, you do freak out and you do panic because you don't know what it feels like to get through it, which is what voluntary suffering is all about. So when you eventually learn how to cope with it, and then you realize after a minute, and it doesn't matter if it's 1 degree or 2 degrees or whatever, near freezing, well, where those are, to be fair, aren't they? You can do it. So that makes you realize, if I can do this, what else can I do? So I make a YouTube channel. I do other things on the side now that I never thought I'd do. It's given me, I think, from a professional standpoint, it makes you realize actually there's more to get out of life than just settling for average. I never settle for average. It's just, unfortunately, it's a positive and a negative. I cannot settle to be average and just plod on in life. I have to be aiming for stuff. I have to be doing things. I have to be being the best version that I can be of myself. There's a great quote, and I love it, which basically says, the goal is perfection. And even though you'll never reach perfection, it is the journey. And even though you'll never reach it, the journey of trying to get perfection is where you achieve greatness. What's greatness? Is to different people, to different people have different opinions on it. But this is where the stoicism kicks in. And I don't compare myself to others. I compare myself to what I was like 12 months ago, 2 years ago. And the clarity I thought I have now, the knowing I know what I can do. I do this on a daily basis because it proves to myself over and over again who I am. And once you build that catalog and you build that legacy, that's a bit too much. When you build a track record is what I'm trying to say. If I've done this, I've owned it, I'm on to the next thing. That's the consequence. Some of this isn't measurable stuff. How it makes you feel. There's nothing better than getting out of a cold plunge where it's like absolutely freezing. Absolutely, there's nothing better than it. You're like absolutely smashed it. You're on a natural high that lasts all the way through to say 2 o'clock. You have a bit of a mushroom coffee on top of that to clear any brain fog. You are firing on all cylinders. You could move mountains. And then you do get people that are plodders. And then when you see them, you blow them out of the water. Just because you've optimized yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, however you want to look at it. So Sam-RX8WD, I've just literally said my response, starting this channel is a direct result of the routine as well as better mental clarity. That's a short answer. But how I've just described it is a long answer. So it's a good question. If you're not a robot, then please change your username so we know you're a real person. That'd be marvelous. But yeah, good question. Good question. Either way. What else have we got? Comments. Spare me. Oh, here we go. This is a good video. I can't pronounce this name in all honesty. If I do, I'll probably, it sounds like I'm going to swear almost, because SHTROIZIN. So apologies, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, but it just says first, question mark. YouTube algorithm brought me here. Appreciate that, YouTube. Keep up, please keep doing that, I guess. Get it out there. Good video, good advice, and easy to relate to. Boom. What else could you ask for when it comes to content creation? Wish you success on your channel. Nice, kind comment. Didn't have to do that. This person's not had to go out the way to leave a comment like this. They could have gone, that was good. I'll give it a like, move along. But he's contributed. So he says, I used to have thick hair down to my bottom and my physique of a 10-year martial arts Koksul one. I don't know that one in all honesty. But now at 56, with 2 little girls, I started late, player, lol. It's a different story. Luckily, I just can't put weight on, but the hair is long gone, as is the energy. 3 years of COVID and over 18 months of war, in addition to all the daily worries, has its toll on an aging man. That's just half the comment. So let me just unpack that bit. I can relate to the hair. I can relate to the, I did Thai boxing. 2008 I started. So I did a bit of MMA. I did a bit of wrestling, bit of jiu-jitsu. And I thought Thai boxing is the way to go. I just didn't have the hips. I haven't got the arse for it. You need a strong hips for jiu-jitsu, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. Everything on this channel is just my opinion. Leave a comment if you don't think you need a big ass to do jiu-jitsu. Let us know. Can't put the weight on. That's good genetics. Hopefully the same here. My weight's been about the same now for 3 years, regardless of the training that I do. So yeah, 3 years of COVID. And this is such an important part. And this is, I think, something that I think is going on more than what we think. 3 years of COVID and over 18 months of war, in addition to all the daily worries, has its toll on an aging man. That's such a powerful comment. Because what we're breaking down here, people that are fans of history will be looking at the current events of what's going on in the world and going, haven't we been here before? This feels an awful like it feels like more at the start of World War I in regards to the power dynamic. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, in all honesty, because I've got 100 thoughts going through my head right now about how to break this down, but it's not the time or the place. Like I said, I am a big fan of history, and a lot of my books are about history behind me. But I think a lot of people are worrying about this war more than what we know. And I think it does have a daily toll. One thing I've noticed since Trump's come back into power, I check the news on a daily basis because that guy is interesting, to say the least. I think he's doing a lot of good things, but I also think his nature and his character means that he can make you worry. Financially, anyway, with all the tariff stuff that he's doing, it's definitely had an impact on investments and that type of stuff. If you're not used to investing, then yeah, you are going to freak out. But the war, I'm specifically wondering, I'm going to assume you're talking about Ukraine. I think in the whole history of mankind, there's only been like 4 years documented where there's never been a war anywhere on the planet. We're always fighting each other. It's what we do, isn't it? Unfortunately. But I think it does have a big impact on people. And I think people that are fans of history are going what's going on here? Because actually, in this scenario, this is going to be a very, very broad comment, but and I like to look at both sides of the coin, but really, really simply, in this Ukraine war, the bad guys, I'm going to say that, I'm going to get quotes, the bad guys could win, then what happens? It's interesting. The last 100 years have all been about the West winning and that type of thing. But when I say that, Germany was technically part of the West, wasn't it? It's a minefield, isn't it? So I agree. I think that last statement, that last sentence is massive. I think as men, they do exist still, thank God. I think we naturally worry and you want to protect your family. It's a very evolutionary kind of, you want to make sure everyone's okay. You are looking out for your family, whether it's financially, psychologically, the future, society, culturally, militarily. There's all these things that you are worrying about on a daily basis that people probably just, if people can get into our heads, we just kind of, I say we, men just kind of shrug, get on with it, smile. But yeah, it's a very interesting time at the moment. Hopefully it's going to end soon. That's maybe a separate live. I could talk about that for ages, about NATO and the Cold War and Ukraine and corruption and Boris Johnson. I'm going to close that rabbit hole up and finish this comment because it is a good comment. That's just half of it. I'm not sure I agree with the advice on supplements, though. I agree. I agree with your comment about what I said. The reason I said about supplements is, especially in the West, we are so used to eating poor food, well censored, by the way. Poor foods that you do need supplements. We're unhealthy. Most of us are, what's the phrase I heard? Something like over 50% of people over 30 are never going to sprint again in their lives. Something scary like that. I.e., we're just not as active as what we used to be. I think if you eat a healthy diet, you don't need a multivit. As you can pretty much get everything, including protein from food. Absolutely agree. If you have the discipline and you have the structure and the routine to absolutely nail that down, absolutely agree. There's two types of people in the world. People that eat to live and people that live to eat. I eat to live. I don't care what it. My wife says to me, "What do you want for tea?" I'm like, "I'm not fussed," and I'm not really picky. So I normally say something like, "Whatever needs eating." Like, don't let my choices dictate what if we've got things that need eating first. Just give me everything. I'm all good. Interesting though, just on a side topic. I have noticed since I got back from holiday, we're eating a little bit cleaner. I was like, actually, I prefer this. I prefer eating a little bit cleaner. So it's something we're working on. Nutrition is the one thing that I really want to try and nail down. I feel like I've got other stuff kind of in a good place. Good enough is the way to look at it. It just needs to be good enough. Does it need to be perfect? Good enough. And good enough is dictated by you. What most people don't get enough of is vitamin D3. So I supplement that daily. And in some cases, vitamin B12. Interesting comment. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole now around D3. It links back to what he said before about COVID. There's a lot of research and a lot of studies showing the link between lack of D3 and people that really got COVID bad. It also links in with when you look at ethnic, what's the way to describe it? I don't know. Basically, all your different breakdown of all the population that got it, your population breakdown of like ethnic minorities, whatever you want to call them. Still thinking, can't think of the word. Apologies. But basically, people with darker skin don't absorb as much sunlight as northern hemisphere or southern, white people, if you will. And that's just down to evolution. So like people with darker skin, they are getting more sunlight evolutionary from where they were, like growing up in and around the equator in your tropic zones. Whereas white people, especially up in the Arctic, Northern European, I guess. Obviously, I'm from England, so that's why I'm mentioning this. But we do absorb decent vitamin D. There's only one problem. We don't get a lot of sun, especially in England. So that's why it's a balancing act. There's a lot of studies to show that people that suffered the most were basically people that were from different ethnicities, but are living in different countries than they would historically to their ancestors, is probably the best way of putting it. And in the long scheme of things, is basically an African person living in a northern hemisphere country, and the body's just going, I can't absorb the little sunlight I'm already getting, and therefore your immunity is going to get a battering from COVID. And the vitamin B12 is a vitamin that helps release energy from cells and kind of sustain your energy levels. So yeah, good point. Vegans may need to take other vitamins and minerals though. Yeah, I don't know that much about it, but one thing about protein, again, this is going back to my personal trainer days, is your amino acids, and you can only get certain amino acids from meat, from absorbing the meat of others. So vegans, if you're not doing that, hook a brother up. What do you do? Interested to learn. I'm always interested to hear other people's thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, sound advice, I would certainly advise to men and women as they grow older to get yearly blood checks, which is basically something I was mentioned about the CRT, coloscopy, other examinations. Something I'm going to be looking at as well. So you said really good advice. I appreciate the feedback as well. It's always good. Always good to get that feedback. So yeah, thank you. Let's try and find some more. We'll wrap this up because we're over 45 minutes. Down 2-minute rabbit holes. The next question, actually, yeah. I think we'll actually wrap it up there, to be honest, because the next one was, I think, a bit of a spam. Basically saying about SEO and optimizing your videos and that type of thing. So that's it. That was basically the main points. So again, if you have contributed, thank you very much. I appreciate it. The channel is steadily growing, which is always nice to see. Hopefully it reaches the right audience. Hopefully there's like-minded people that want to get a little better as well and want to contribute and help others and leave good examples and be role models for the next generation, I guess. That's what it all comes down to, isn't it, at the end of the day? So let's wrap it up there. So thank you for those that have watched. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all those calls to actions from YouTube. I might try and do this weekly. I'm definitely probably going to think about, do I have a different topic every week? Let us know what topics you want it to be. Some good comments coming in the videos, so let us know. So if you're in the UK, enjoy the bank holiday, enjoy the, what is it, half term? The weather's not meant to be as great, which is unsurprising for England, but we made the best of it. We just get on with it. That's what we do in England. Let's just get on with it. But yeah, thank you everyone. I will see you all soon. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.